Yeah, so college. I saw you say that if someone doesn't know what they want to do with their life, they should go to college. Like if someone even says to you, I don't know if I should go to college, that to you is an indication that they should 100% go to college.
That sounds exactly like the opposite of what I would say, but go ahead.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, well then if you don't,
if I had to
if you
guess,
no longer agree with
the conversation topic that this probably came from was people asking questions of like, hey, I don't know if I want to be like I really want to be like a computer programmer, but I think I can like work on my own portfolio and everything. Do you think that I should I like go to college and do all that, or should I like start programming on the side or whatever? And when people ask me questions like that, what I say is like, if you don't know if you can like figure your shit out and do whatever right out of high school, just go to college, because the self-employed route and all of that is not for you. Just do the college thing.
No, let me find it. I literally heard you say what I just said verbatim. But if not, then obviously we don't need to talk about it.
Sure. You said if you don't know what to do, you should go to the military. I think college is generally a good path for everybody, but like if you have no idea what to do, you shouldn't just go and shit around for 6 years and be like a super senior, like taking like 8 years to get like a bachelor's in nothing or whatever.
Oh, okay. Because that was gonna be my take, but I really thought you said they should go to college. You said if someone comes up to you.
You have said that before? Okay. I mean, if you misunderstood this or whatever, or if I was unclear, if you have skills in a certain area and you want to turn it into a career, and you're not sure if you can just do it out of high school or if you should go to college, you should 1,000,000% just go to college. You're probably not going to do it on your own if you don't know if you can do it on your own or not. But if you genuinely have no idea what the you want to do with your life, then yeah, I don't know, do a trade, go to the military. Don't just like go to college and waste all your money doing random like picking 6 different majors as a bachelor's or whatever. That's
Wait, I want to see if this is it.
If I were hiring someone for a position today, I would much rather hire someone who did not go to college. Why?
No shot.
100%.
Absolutely.
And I do it all the time. And the
it.
reason is that the people who go to college go through 4 years, and every single one of them talks and thinks and acts like a robot.
If I'm hiring somebody and I've got 2 equivalent candidates in front of me, and I've got a guy that was able to get his 4-year degree, that speaks volumes. I know that you can be on time. I know that you can show up every day and do what's assigned to you. I know that you have the ability to finish something. That's a hugely important thing versus somebody that shows up with no degree. If you don't have a degree, and you can make it without a degree, but you need a damn good portfolio to do that. And that is true advice for anybody working in any field. The college degree is the #1 grower of wealth inequality in the United States, because people with college degrees are out earning everybody else so much.
Watch what happens in the next 10 years with college degrees.
It's so important. Even other conservative-esque people like Jordan Peterson talk about like, how do we have a society where it functions when the IQ requirements for performing well in society are becoming higher?
This wasn't it.
okay. But I did say, you heard me, wait, real quick. You didn't hear me give the qualification there where I said like, if you don't want to go to college, you don't have to. You have to have a damn good portfolio. That's the same point that I just made here, but yeah.
Massive benefits conferred upon you with college education.
No, this wasn't it. It was like, wait.
College is a giant scam. Most of these majors are a waste of time.
Why do you think people pay the money?
Because it's an illusion to make them feel like they're productive.
I need to save it next time. Wait.
If I were hiring...
Yeah. I should have saved it. Yeah, I mean, I heard you say what I said, but if you said no, then I'm not going to debate you on it, because obviously you're not going to
Well, I don't
present
believe
that position.
So, yeah.
It's what you said, but yeah.
It's not what I said. You're probably just slandering me.
That'd be a
I
very
might sue
specific
you.
way for me to misquote you, that you said if someone comes up to me and says, I don't know if I should go to college, you said that's the clearest indication that they should go to college.
I just, like, I would never say that. It's so ridiculous.
Who would say it?
Usually the people that say that, and this is what I think the conversation here, usually it'll be somebody will come up to me and they'll be like, hey, listen, here's a skill that I'm like really good in, but I don't know if I should go to school or not. Then I would say, go to school. Because generally, if you're driven enough to work on a skill and you can make it without going to college, you probably already know that. Right? There's a guy who's 18 years old who's already got a Git repo that he's been contributing to for 8 years. He's got like 4 huge projects he worked on. When he graduates high school, he already knows enough to get any cert he wants. He probably knows more than the majority of people that are graduating with a 4-year degree. This guy's not coming up to me and asking like, Destiny, do you think I should go to college? He's probably already working and shit. He might even already have job offers or might be working already. He doesn't need to go to college. But if you're like 18, you've got like a big interest in coding and you've never really worked on a project before, and you're like, oh, I don't know, I think I could be like something. No, go to college and get the degree. And that path for you is way more set and safe than trying to make it on your own when you haven't even done any work on your own already. That's generally what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
it's better than the alternative, but I'm saying, do you think college should be the default for like the confused 18-year-old, or do you think they should first like, because I think they should like take a gap year. I don't think you really find yourself in college. I think
Gap years are really, really, really scary in the United States. Because I don't even know what the chance of success. One is because you lose access to a lot of aid and scholarship by taking a gap year, and two is because it's very hard to go back to school after a gap year for a lot of people. I think for the majority of people. If you really need the gap year, then go for it. But if you're going to do college, you should probably try to figure that out when you're graduating high school. But gap years, I think, are super, super, super scary.
Okay, so then what's your answer to my question?
What is your question?
So I said I suggest a gap year for people. So then do you think the default for the confused 18-year-old should be college?
If you super don't know and you're super confused, then I guess take the gap year, or just don't go to college at all. But
if they just graduate high school and they're like, I don't know what I want to do with my life, what would be your advice to that 18-year-old?
it depends on their financial situation. If parents are offering to pay for school and they've got like a full ride, or they've got a lot of financial aid or whatever, then I would say go to then go to college.
What if they're lower class?
Then get a trade or just work. But don't accumulate $50,000 of debt or $20,000 of debt for no reason. You know?
Okay, yeah, I agree. We can watch this then.
Sure. But if you stop going to school, everyone I know who took a gap year never got more sure of what they wanted to do until they got to school. Yeah, I don't know like how many people take a gap year and then figure out in that year like, oh, this is what I want to.
I feel like you do, because if you then choose to go to school, if you don't choose to go to school, that's one thing. But they're saying it's people who go to school after the gap year. So you get what I'm saying? Like you were saying, most people take gap years. It's harder for them to go back. But if this person went back to school, then they already made that decision. So clearly they're going to know what they want to do, is the point.
Yeah, but I don't know, like, it might be that a lot of people that took a gap year should have just gotten maybe by the time they were there, like a freshman or sophomore, they would have figured out what they wanted to major in, right? Because freshman, sophomore, it's all like gen eds anyway, right?
Yeah, that's why I think it's just a waste of time.
What's a waste of time?
If you don't know what you want to do, just
no,
go
I'm
to
saying that if you
college.
don't want to want to do, but you're like in a position in life to go to college, probably just better off going to college for any random thing. Because freshman, sophomore year, you could still change your major and graduate in 4 years or 5 at the worst.
You could, or you could just stick around for 2 years, go to frat parties, and then be forced to pick a major, and you pick something random, and then...
You could, or you could be in a position to go to college and then take a gap year, and why the you want to go back to studying? You graduated high school, you've already got an apartment, you got a job, and you just like continue on that path, and you never get a college degree, and the rest of your life is
Why would it be
because now you're a person without a college degree.
Okay.
You could be a person with a college degree.
I saw a stat that said like 40% of like recent college graduates are underemployed. Like the jobs they end up taking don't even require a bachelor's.
Underemployment is a weird stat, and I don't even know if underemployment is necessarily bad. A lot of people consider yourself underemployed if your job is not directly related to your degree, but I've heard other people argue that shows the strength of a degree, is that if you get a degree, you can get work that's not even necessarily related to it. So I can't speak to statistically of this, but I knew at the casino this was true. I know at Rachel's job in Nebraska Furniture Mart this was true, that like there are a lot of jobs for whatever reason, I don't know why, but if you want to get promoted to certain managerial positions, or if you want to work in like HR or whatever, they will literally say have any 2 or 4 year degree. Any associate's or bachelor's degree will qualify you for more pay. I don't know why, but it literally doesn't matter what degree you have, but you'll still get paid more if you have it. I don't know if it's like that at every job, or I don't know if you guys say that at your jobs or whatever, but if that is the case, then I mean like, yeah, you're still better off just getting the degree.
Yeah, I guess I just disagree with you of saying that like unambitious people should go to college unless your parents are bankrolling, because the only way I could see it being
if you don't have the money for it, you're going to assume a ton of debt, then yeah, you probably just stay away and start working.
I think if you're just like wandering through life, but you have like rich parents and you're like old money, then it's totally worth it, because then you could just probably go to an Ivy still if you like did. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be an Ivy.
If you've got like middle class parents who are willing to foot like half the bill or something. Like,
I guess I meant like I feel like top tier schools are the only place that can like dick around and you can still graduate and do well, because even if you were like a B student in like journalism, you could still probably end up working for like a major magazine.
I don't think it has to. You can be dick around into state school for a year, figure out your major, and graduate with.
But then I don't know. I think like your job prospects are going to give you like lower income probably.
Not at all. No.
Like a lower GPA at a top tier school is worth a lot more than a high GPA at a lower tier school.
I don't know. Unless you're like a lawyer, I don't think that like the. I don't think that I don't think going to an Ivy League or schools like that are that important. My only point was
that like I think we shouldn't encourage like people who don't already know what they want to do to just go into the college system unless they happen to be able to get it into a top tier school. I
think the fixation on top tier school I think is wildly misplaced. I think if you go to a state school and graduate with anything in STEM, you're always going to be better off than anything else. Like the Ivy League shit only matters if you're doing like Ivy
But
League
how many
professions.
STEM people who went into STEM started off not knowing what they're doing? I feel like these comp sci boys have been coding since they're 10, so I don't feel like that relates to the population.
I think there's a lot of STEM people who like they're okay at like math and science, and they don't know if they want to code, they don't know if they want to do engineering, they don't want to do whatever.
Really, I feel like the people in those fields pretty much know before
Absolutely
college.
not.
You don't think so?
Nobody in no offense to you guys, but like, I don't think anybody who's a freshman in high school, or I'm sorry, I don't think anybody who's like a junior, senior high school is like, I want to be an engineer. I want to be a chemical engineer. I think
that's
generally.
That's what my brother did.
That's
he
fine.
knew he wanted to be a chemist since he was.
Your brother literally is a lawyer.
My other brother.
Oh, okay. That's fine if he did that. But I think a lot of people, like, engineering is like a very, 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 very broad field. Sometimes you're just like good at math, you're good at science, you go to college, and eventually you end up like picking like an engineering field or whatever, and then you go into it. But like, I don't think people at like junior, senior high school, like, I want to be a petroleum engineer. Like, you go to college and you figure it out, I think.
I just don't think so, because if you don't know what you want to do, the first 2 years are just like these bloated gen ed courses. Like, I don't think you're going to take like basic
Wait,
physics
they're not
1
bloated.
and then
Hold
be
on,
like,
those-
okay,
those-
I'm going to take, now I'm
Why
going to become a
why did you
chemical
say that?
engineer.
They're not bloated gen ed courses. They're required for your degree. What do you mean bloated?
Oh, bloated as in I think you don't learn much. I don't mean like...
You learn to go to college, right?
I think it's just a way to take your money because you have to live on campus for like the first 2 years pretty much at most schools.
The idea is supposed to be that in the United States education system, we want students to be a little bit more well-rounded.
I think it's bullshit. That's
You
why
might, but what
I
if
was
you
saying
communicate
I think
with
it's
enough...
bullshit because they're
yeah.
bloated. I wasn't saying bloated because they're unnecessary for your degree. I think they're bloated because they're not necessary to make you a well-rounded person. I like in Europe...
I think they are necessary to make
in
you
Europe,
well-rounded.
if you go to college, like you can just start studying the
I understand
major
you can
wanna
do that,
study.
yeah, but if you talk to enough developers that are too to even write a proper email, like at some point you're like, you need to take more writing classes. Like, I think it's okay to have gen eds and to tell people to have a general awareness of the world and to be a little bit more well-rounded.
Waste 2 years of my life to learn how to write an email.
To be a decent writer, I think is absolutely worth that investment in your life. Yeah. And I think having an appreciation for more things outside of the narrow purview of whatever career you work, we already are like so hyper specialized as a society. Like we specialize to an insane degree in our society now because of education. I think it's okay to take like a course on music, rock history, and then a course on like survey of anthropology, and then a course of like Russian literature. I think it's okay to have that, to have like a general awareness of the world. I think it's fine.
Not to have it, but to require it, I think is...
I think it's going to require it. This is
kinda
literally the
scammy.
last year. College is the last stop for most people in their entire lives to be forced to learn something. Like past that, you never have to learn anything else for whatever job
I think
training
that
is
should
required.
end in the 12th grade, being to learn things. Outside of like your specific intended major.
That's so sad.
Why?
Because it's...
You're still learning in college. You're learning things
You're
in
specializing
a
though.
sharpened way.
You're just specializing more.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's good to have, I think, broader basis of knowledges, but...
Just taking like an intro to like French class.
Yep. Intro to basket weaving. Yeah.
Okay.
I appreciate that, Destiny.
All right. Bye.
Remember to hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so that my videos show up right in your feed.